I think that's an LBS bug in the new version. It actually switches to the wrong scene when you turn off studio mode. I don't have a good place to make a note for that. Okay. I did a bunch of edits. It's probably not obvious on a theme, but I changed a lot of the spacing in here so there's more room for the lines. I kind of got these like little off-ramp things, which shows what's going on better. I think it kind of went around. So I cut out a bar here, and I think I don't like the asymmetry of this thing, and actually I might need to go back and add the points here, but getting this thing to light up is one of our tasks today. I moved this down, I crunched this up a little bit so that you can see this thing. Looks like it's a little bit covered up, but not too bad. Dionysus was nothing major. I was just curving out some of these things since he has a very curvy shape. The meter was revised a bit. I tried flipping this around the other side, and then I ended up deciding that I wanted these lines to kind of go in more or less at this angle of inflection, or tangent, or something. Oh, you know what? Actually, I was thinking that I wanted to move this thing in a little bit so you could maybe see more of the turn into here, but forgot about that. I shrunk this thing down rather than flipping it so that it doesn't get covered up as much. It doesn't end up working out evenly with the leaves if you have the image on, but it's more similar to the size of some of these other ones. Ares, we broke out the subsets a little bit, so we've got dedicated lines from Doom and from Rift. I'm not too crazy about this one, especially with the way all these cross, but like a lot of our Rift stuff is up here, and it goes over here. So it's like just this one thing that has to come down here. And I've been wondering if this shouldn't move up here somewhere to give us a better line to this. That's really the only place that we use this joined thing. Oh yeah, and Artemis. I got rid of the tons and tons of parallel lines, but it's been at the cost of a lot of little paths. Now, those lot of little paths in some way express the complexity of what's going on here, but it's messy. And in particular, her own call, at least, well, this is the way my code's implemented, but I think it would be accurate, is not like just having her call won't give you this hunter instinct. You need one of a number of other abilities, not including that one. And it's like, let's see, does that one count? No, that doesn't count. Yeah, it's that and either of these. And then I broke up, let's see, there was one that was like attack and casts. And I broke that up. No, not pressure points. Because that gets used two places, or the two of them gets used two places. We can just kind of branch from here. Now this ended up being pretty much just Aphrodite until we added this thing. I do a bunch of stuff for you. I wonder if that almost wouldn't be better high to go out on those, but it also has to get down to these, so it's me, and it has to get down to there. Now, I tried moving all of these things out to the sides to kind of get the crossbar of her bow. But now we don't have an arrowhead anymore, so I might want to think about flipping this all and putting this thing back up as an arrowhead, even though it's a circle. I know when I was first laying this out, it almost seemed to fit better than the arrowhead. But okay, so we've got all of those design changes. I've got, what do I have? Do I have changes in Boon chart? Easiest way to look at that is actually going to be oop. I added public. Oh. Since there was an error in that line, it didn't do anything else. Oh, that's right, it's some color tweaks to knock down these big outlines. Now, it was kind of useful in sort of giving you a framework for the whole thing, so I'm still not sure about that. We need to import this once. I might have to go and do some Poseidon updates. And I'll see if I'm, yep. If I'm working on point stuff, maybe I want to be running the parser live anyway. All right, does Poseidon have points? Point. No. So it needs to be in that layer. Might as well put them here. Well, I actually don't think it's going to matter because I probably won't even draw them. And the problem is, how do we select them? Point 1. Now, I guess the other way to do this, well, do an attribute in the text itself. But they might need to be included in multiples then, depending how that worked. And it's this layer that we're trying to select, so I can't just turn that off. And I guess I will need to be live loading that. No, I guess I already switched it. No, generated is the static one. Doesn't break anything, does it? Doesn't break anything. Man, what a list. So this is going to be a kind of connection. Oh, I guess I'm going to have a data structure for this. I mean, maybe I could punt it in as like a zero length line. Was I doing these alphabetical at one point? Or maybe I just didn't want to mess with this thing. Okay, no point there. Unit bearer new data. Oh, this is going to be a little bit weird though, because we have to... Oh. We get various points times use point as the type for a float float. What can we call it besides point? A dot? No, it's going to be a line. It's just that we have to... Yeah. Cool. It's a functional language. Let's see, what else we'd call it? Strongly typed, immutable, compiled to JavaScript. Has a goal of keeping things relatively simple and having nice error messages. Unfortunately, some of the conventions can get into some things that aren't super clear, like these decoders. So there's a little bit of throwing functions and operators around happening inside this thing. Yeah, it's front end. You can compile things without a view and run it from Node, but you're on the hook for any kind of system library integration, and that will be through an asynchronous messaging interface, as with any browser API stuff. Although a few things are supported by standard libraries on the browser end. All right, we don't have this yet. I'm assuming it's going to be 10. I need to do, I guess this would be more of a point base 10, and then How do I keep it? Not that we're using it anymore. Line point point as a temporary measure. Actually, I probably need to use an and then, so I need to succeed you. And find a point entity. Well, I probably have never had to import one before, so I never added my parser. This is for a game called Hades. I don't know the... And there's the wiki, which would indeed cover some of that stuff. And maybe would have a link to it. Supergiant Games. So you can't see. I don't know if there's a good... Okay, well, there's some videos. I'm not sure how long those are. Showcase. There's early access trailer. That's gonna be an older one. But yeah, 2D fighting game. You get boons from the gods, which are generally shown over here. And one of the things I might want to do is actually get up a little quick reference thing for these sort of basic core ability stuff. And it actually is very, very complicated. I don't know if I've any. Well, I'm sure of starting up the game. There's an easy way to show what the in-game reference looks like. There is one, thankfully, but it can be really hard to follow stuff. And also, well, some of these lines might communicate how complicated things can get because some of these are really messy. Particularly when you get to what these duo boons get into. So it's like every duo boon has this very, very specific set of... so this boon chart is for Hades. Did you see the link? Because I just posted it. I don't know if it does past chats when joining a live stream. Can I just repeat my own... Yeah, so this is... See, I don't know if they've got any other good ones. That's a combat scene, although it's mostly just a big explosion. These guys like to throw bombs. I mean, yeah, it gets a little bit complicated. I mean, it starts out as just, okay, run around. I guess you've got 4 action buttons. You've got attack, special, a cast, and a dash, which most of the enhanced dashes turn into some kind of attack as you're moving. So I guess in the sense that you have 4 actions, it's been a little complicated. And then actually there's a 4th ability that you can get that you unlock pretty early on, and you can get a companion. So they kind of dribble the stuff in. But when you get into the interactions of all of these things, and like there's 6 different weapons, and each weapon has 4 aspects. You know, it starts out simple and then it can get very deep. And I found it hard to understand like some of the way the duo boons interacted. You know, like if I still don't, this still isn't very good at saying, okay, if I want this, what do I need? Right now I just kind of have to click around and say, okay, well, that lit up the Zeus side, and nope, that doesn't do it. Oh, okay, no, that doesn't do Zeus. Oh no, that's flanks actually. So in that case, I know it's just going to be Athena's cast will get that. Now this is lit up, so you can theoretically go for it. And one of the things I've got going on right now is I've got an experiment. Uh, if I could use these like areas to sort of break up all the lines going everywhere. And I've been doing a lot of stuff with just lines elsewhere, so I might need to go back to that here. But on a technical level, can we even do it? Because like right now, this doesn't activate. Probably that activates a bunch of stuff. But that should be turning on this. If we do something there, we can see this lit up, but I don't have my line going into it. So the way I'm tagging these areas, I just put a little point object there. And because that's in this layer group, the same layer group as this thing, that should tag is going to load that up. And we never defined a point entity for a DXF parser. What do we call it? Point. Yep, you're an entity type. So we called it point. But I found that these basic words tend to run into conflicts a lot. And indeed, we have point, layout, point. No. If you'll notice, the website is Supergiant Games. They're an entire team of people that have had a couple of successes in the past. I just found this stuff hard to follow, so I wanted to make this. It's kind of an art project at this point, but because I've completed my main playthrough, I thought, oh yeah, we'll just do a quick and dirty thing. And does my quick and dirty thing still work? Yeah, that was the quick and dirty version, which is not very helpful. Although you can kind of see like just how messy Artemis is. Who's that? Oh yeah, Athena. I sort of meant to straighten her out. Well, actually, a lot of these are duos, which is, well, let's do duo lines. What are we missing here? Succeed area with a bunch of stuff. It's piping into a function that expects list connection. If we do like arc, that's a singular entry. We've got line, which is just succeed line. Oh, did I copy something that was not a connection type? No, that's a connection type. Oh, because need to add a new argument for you. And I don't know if I super like this giant list of arguments, but that's kind of how decoder libraries tend to run. So if that worked, okay, so that does work in the sense that this works. Now we're going to be trying to draw a pointless line in here. So I think we need to set up an actual type for this. So a connection type would be an arc area. Now it would be a point, but we have point as a float. Those might technically be in different namespaces, but it would still be confusing. I think the main thing that's going to complain about that is going to be... Actually, I have to see if you care about dots here. Because you might not care. The problem is, this is trying to definitely map to something. So I'm going to do the same little punt for a moment until we figure this out. But I really want to turn this into nothing. I think there's going to be some other things I need to deal with this. Oh. I must be processing these to see which groups to highlight? Because nothing is using the layout information itself. Okay. So I guess we have to represent this here and just not draw it. We actually want to... I think I was just using an empty group as a punt. This library doesn't necessarily have that. Oop, I forgot to change you. Okay, that handles the logical part of it. And where is the logical part of that? That's the in traits, isn't it? No, it's layout. Oh, you just never look at the shape? Okay. So that means I don't have to translate it to anything, although I still have to have a way to punt. I mean, I could rename dot to nothing here and just not translate anything. It's not game design. It's something that could have happened in game design. I mean, if Supergiant had decided to include a graphical reference into their actual game, they might have had to do this. I can't really fault them for focusing on the gameplay instead of the infographics of it. And they did include the boon reference, which was very very handy, but it is hard to track sometimes. Well, yes, we've already proved that we just throw this out. I'm trying to make it easier to track builds, so I can say, well, if I have that, what might that lead to? And if I have, well, actually, that didn't make a connection here, so that's not helpful. And if we do that, we've actually this is I'm picking terrible examples here. So this is kind of showing that it's possible to do things that are just not going to connect anything. Oh, okay, we got one possible duo. Oh, and actually there's still a shot too. And that might actually connect these guys to make that possible. But we pretty much, oh, and we got that as a possibility. But you can see that we've kind of, no, you're actually not possible. Oh, right, because this is still possible there. But you can see that we've kind of excluded all the other duos are just not possibilities anymore. All the basic abilities have been kind of locked out because you only can get one of each slot. So I'm trying to make it kind of easier to process all of the interactions that are going on here. If I had a, well, no, if we go into this mapping function, we have to produce a value. I could have a value that's nothing, and I could remove the nothings from the list just to get rid of them. I think I already have it invisible for duo connector shapes. So we can actually, oh, this is doing individual. Okay, let's dot map. Oh, so you're a map. Okay, so we can come back here. So this is unfortunate. We actually have to build this. Like, could I filter out shape dots beforehand? I just have to build that list. And I basically need a case for that. Whereas tag is a simple type, so I could just do an equal on it. Oh, but I still have, that's a pure efficiency argument because we still have to do this. Because it's still in that type. Oh. Wait, maintain alpha on you. Right. Wait. You were fine with shape? Oh, because this ended up inside of here. So that should actually generate no item there. Now, it is a strict subset of the outer ring. We've got 1, 2, 3. Taps off of that. That would all have to have this stuff manually joined in if we use that. Anyway. It technically works. I'm going to have to use it for a little bit, I guess, to see how I feel about it. That just kind of works. Alright, so design issues are design issues. Fill screen's bugging me a little bit. That's kind of optimization. And then we also want like a basic tray quick select. It might be our next thing. All right, now with that set, we can import that for quicker loads. Let's set up as a monitor thing. It might run better as a one-off for that way I'm using it now. And I ended up using area once, although it could potentially be used on like one of Zeus's things here. Actually, I do need to sort out some display issues. Like this shouldn't be the full gray line. It should be. But I don't export it. I don't know why it didn't complain about that. Oh, you know what? It probably did complain about it, but it scrolled it off. That's one of the problems with this. There's so much stuff going on, you don't see the errors. This is in layout, so this is still the raw form. We do the digesting later. All right, so things I would like for my own quality of life. Just when testing in things, I think I would like a quick select. I think I would like kind of a faster way to get the particular god. Now that has its own complications because I think I'm going to want to rotate some things and not others. Text and icons kind of leaving alone. So I'm not sure which of those is going to be more valuable. Let's see, so we're kind of done with point tagging. So I'm thinking for moving around, we might want, just like a list of god icons. You can just go boop, 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 and it would zoom into the appropriate spot. And that's why we're getting into rotation to align that, which I don't have a good interface for that, just for the zooming mode. I guess being able to rotate this entire thing independently of the text, which actually, that might just kind of be that initial offset parameter. And making that more animatable would be the tricky part. That would be boon chart that actually lays that out. So this is for individual gods. So it's technically this. So it's not an independent parameter. And actually, I think the way I've been thinking about this assumes a fair degree of pre-calculation. Which, if we're rotating things, would not. Well, I could pre-calculate everything except that, but I have to go through every point and update it. Let's just confirm that this is the right thing. And that seems to be the right thing. So I was thinking of maybe saving some of this stuff. You could probably do like the hard work, and then if you just had a list of points, you could go through and transform the points. Okay, so we expose this and use it somewhere else. Yeah, we calculate this. Well, we have an update chart metrics, which we do once when we get that, or when we get new gods. or new layouts. So the quick and dirty version of this, well, we'd have to have a angle parameter somewhere. Right now, that's just traits. So I think really what we'd have is like a focus or a right side up parameter. I'm probably eventually going to want to animate that. So state-wise, we want to track the target. And we're going to need an angle offset. That actually comes down to, maybe we have to calculate the metrics at some kind of stock angle. I know we have a thing to get a God angle. Which is going to be out of... Oh no, it's not a... Okay, layout basic boons of... Oh, you're just a parameter. Okay, well, we do store it in there. But then the boons are relative. Everything is relative to that. But we actually placed the boons by that angle. I guess most of the time it's not changing, so maybe that's okay. But I'm going to need some way to say, okay, what would I have to set my angle to get that God? And that would be the angle less that offset. So we need to store two angles in here. Like current display angle and relative position. Now wait a minute. Wait a minute, what's you? Oh, this is the step. So it's the individual gods that have an absolute angle, which we need this. need to be in the middle here somewhere. So what are you? You are a chart metrics. Which are God metrics, which have a center, an angle. So everything we're doing right now is just with straight up angle. I guess we only really need this as sort of a focus angle. So now we could potentially ask, given calculated stuff, well, we could ask what the angle offset is. We don't have a way to do anything with it. All right. Terms we're going to have outside, and we're just going to get. Oh. Do a boons, angle, angle. Do we need. I guess we need like a default angle, maybe? Or maybe this just the angle divided by 2 becomes a parameter, because we're going to output angle here. But then it's like you have to run it, and then you have to run it again to place everything. What do you consider the primary field here? All right, so metrics has a list of gods. So I guess all I regularly care about here is gods. Ooh, we're not guaranteed to find this, are we? Oh. Because you're going to have a god too. Then we're going to assume we found one. No, that's an entire god. So let's do. No, we can still maybe not map that. Oh, you're an array. That's roughly the same as get head. Or list head. All right, we're not even calling this yet. So we want to. I guess I don't have any. I could put in some code to do this, and then set up UI for it. Init with generated. That's in our init. We also need to do this, I guess, update chart metrics. We're just doing this right now. Oh, actually, These guide positions won't really change. I mean, technically, I guess there might be some things that are dependent on the number of entries we have, but we're also kind of hard-coded. And what I need to do is have a place to put this. So location, navigation, traits. So active status. This is kind of getting into like interactive state information. I guess it's also kind of related to this stuff. Actually, this we could sort of deal with independently. So we've got an init, initial model. And this I might just end up doing a constant rotation here. So this is actually saying we want to do the display side first. It looks like I could go stick data in there and debug out it. All right, so calculate metrics is going to get an angle. That seems, do I need to rethink how my metrics are done? Because we do list.map display boon trait. Oh, those are getting zoom because they do zoom relative display. And we'd have to pass this down to display. Huh. No, because if I rotate it here, it's going to rotate the text. So there might be better ways to deal with that. But it's going to be a deeper rewrite. And it does feel a little bit weird to be doing this sort of big thing and then throwing this in. Calculate metrics. Did we just run everything through there? Not quite. Ah. Okay, so that is kind of the expected result. That's slightly annoying. Okay, so that kind of works. I don't know how to get my, like, preferred default here. Because it actually, well, we could just print it out and use it, I guess. And technically it's in calculate metrics, but that's sort of a feedback thing. Actually, this is probably some... This is just like divided by length, right? Oh, why not? I never actually defined that here. We defined it in U. Are we using geometry? No, actually it is... Right, and then we did angle divided by 2. And this was negative, wasn't it? Okay, so that's our default position, and we have the potential to focus on somebody. But that would be a maybe. Maybe we'll have others. That's the type. So you're going to be nothing. Okay, so I don't know if we can support this in our init stage. I guess really model.rotation will be updating when we change this. Now, if we're actually focusing on the god, we're also going to want to zoom into where they're at, which maybe that turns into an animation thing at some point. Oh, we don't have a way to unfocus. Let's see. And the way we did this. No, that's rotation. Now we got a boon chart. That rotation equals boon chart dot angle of God. Focus angle of. Oh, you also need the old copy of chart metrics. Which is why I think this might not be the right level to put things at. All right, and that's a model to model. So if we go to like initial, well, we don't have God's data here yet. Pick somebody. Oh, you're also this. Okay. So are we returning a negative angle? Okay, we're returning a negative angle. But we have to apply a positive angle, which is weird. Wait, or is this just a baseline issue? Huh. When I put in my initial offset before, it worked fine. All right, so we were going around that way. We say, well, the rotation from Wichijiki was that way. We were doing times negative angle. And we were using that in all of this stuff. Oh, right, because I was laying out these guys around this way. So that had to be the negative angle. And my offset, see, we were putting Aphrodite that way, actually. Had to be -2. Okay, so that makes sense. But if we add that in, it's backwards. Now, is it backwards or is this, well, the fact that it's at the bottom, I wanted it at the top, is why I'm thinking it's backwards. Oh, you know what this is doing? This is putting Aphrodite in the Artemis position. Maybe negative does make sense then, because I want to do the opposite operation. Maybe this should just return a different angle or save a different angle. Oh, we appear to have a few bugs left still. This doesn't hold up well against rotation. Well, shoot, because that ellipse stuff was a pain in the butt. Okay, so we can do that. To do a focus, I would need other information. I'll probably just save this as that, huh? Although it's weird that focus angle is that. Which is exactly what we use for angle. Maybe my rotations versus the built-in, the collage library rotations are opposite? It seems like I did have to negative angles a lot. And this is boundary arcs not working under rotation. All right. Now how do we focus on you? You have an angle. You have a center. Now that's probably going to be in relative coordinates. Maybe is that a translation we could do? Well, actually, if we're focusing, it's always going to be here. I might need the modified position elsewise. Although this probably incorporates some information about main ring radius that I don't think is exposed outside per se. Let's see, we're gonna need to rotate and then get this. So the fact that we need to change things there is another thing that's making me a bit nervous about this. Oop. Bad paste. Okay, so there's our rotation. Now we have to actually do this to be able to get our center. And this is actually going to be our offset. Well, offset's going to require some translations, I think. And actually, we're going to set the zoom to a specific thing as well. I'm not entirely sure what that is. That's probably just a scale factor. Is that a chart metrics thing? Actually, we exposed chart metrics. So adjacent distance is the diameter. Probably in 0, 1 space. Actually, the size might be entirely defined within this. Yeah. Well, we can center on it. We can figure out, zoom in a bit. Oh, so that's also going to affect our positioning, isn't it? Actually, I guess you could do some things with that, maybe. Well, it couldn't give us a zoom factor. It could give us the right location. Actually, you don't have zoom information. Oh, you only do rotation. No, I put this in here. Oh, maybe the offset is so small from 0 that it's unnoticeable. Also, we want this to put the center of the view, and I don't know if I have mechanism to do that yet. So this is probably a scale issue. I'm not sure if this will help. I just call it size. I already have a flip in this, yeah. And model.offset was flipped, so... Oh, no, it's focus... position of? Oh, I can't click on it to drag it down. So that seems just as bad. Negative. This is where we need to be looking at... Let's see, we need to definitely not do that. And compare focus to on mouse move, on mouse down, on mouse up, offset equals. I could have done that at the release. Okay, so you are indeed a very, very small amount. And this is the wrong spot. On mouse up. Okay, these are like in screen coordinates. And if we're trying to center Artemis, we want a positive, well, is this 0-ish? 0-ish. We want a positive y and, oh, right now we just need a positive y. Oh, so we have to include zoom here. And a negative x. Oh, now you're a negative? Okay, so that's where this corner is basically. It's not center based. So if we have a negative is up from, okay. So if that's a negative, we would want to invert that. I would want to sub from one and a sign invert it. Well, no, because it's going to be, what, 0 to 0.5? 0 to 0.5. No, maybe that's just +1. Or plus 0.5. And then scale. Let's see. So now we're dealing with stuff that's... This is trying to get to screen coordinates. What's my zoom factor? I actually had a thing to display this at one time. And I took it off. But I thought I just like commented it out. Apparently not. Because I think zoom 1 is closer to here. Which means that we are relative to the total chart size. This raises questions about where a flip goes. Relative to add. Wait, you're still... Oh. Okay. And then we have to put this by our scale. That's still pretty wonky. I do not, also I do not agree with the sign of X, I think. Okay, so that's only offsetting by up. We're not taking any account for what the center of our screen is part of the problem. But we should still be, even if this is the focus point, we'd still see other stuff. This would be... I think that would be negative. Maybe you have to subtract a 0.5. Now, see, that almost seems reasonable. Right, we haven't done anything to scale, so if it was off quite a ways... Right, we didn't do zoom. Out here... Okay. So if we knew where the center of our screen was, which I guess this kind of leads into being able to center and fill the screen. We set this up to be like a few hundred. Hmm? I'd swear I completed you. What's been the other one? Okay, so this is where we have to go back and do our screen measure stuff. Also, we want to tweak our zoom value in this, which this might end up being another screen relative thing. I suppose it's 1.0. Oh, am I going to have to... Aha. What does this mean? So this tweak is a multiplier on the current zoom. We need to set it to a value. Well, if we say we're going to change zoom, then it's going to change it to that. Well, we're going to rewrite offset completely in this case. So actually, this only matters any place we were dealing with zoom. Although maybe, does it change this? So I don't know if this is incorrect data. Well, this is the point I clicked, isn't it? No, that's the offset. Maybe if I crank this up, it'll be more obvious if it's scaling the point wrong. Yeah, I could see that being the center right there. Now, really what we want is we want some sort of bound of this to fit within the frame, but fit within frame gets us back to we need to go figure out what our frame is. All right, so I actually had some stuff in here for this. It might be a little bit of this stuff. So window size. So this is an initial task. And this is DOM get viewport. Okay, and there's our measure task. This must have been in a batch somewhere. So we have fetch traits, we have command.batch nothing. I guess we just do a little function for this. Let's see, this is only one task right now. Or one command right now. See, these go in reverse. Did I leave down here? Yeah. Now what I was saving was model window width, window height, which I don't know if I kept that stuff around. Oh, I did. With some initial value. Now we're not doing anything with this. Oh, we need task 2. Right, so probably our initial model. No, our initial model has that. Maybe we didn't update the model itself. Oh, interesting. Left this in, but not the types. All right, so let's... Not that that's a bad initial value. But we need to be obviously wrong to see if we're right. What do we do with u? Well, we know we've got a square. I guess I'm going to have to import my size or export my size because that's going to be a factor in how we scale this. Now, maybe size should actually be a input to this. So hit chart, well, that would go into matrix probably. Calculated size. Text.size. Okay, so it didn't actually use, so we don't use u, we don't use u. We use, okay, scale size. So this could be a parameter to the chart. And hit. So either well, you're getting offset and zoom. So we have a scale here, that could be a parameter. To do a hit detection, I guess I could be doing the offset stuff outside of hit. It's kind of nice to have it all here. Oh, we're already doing some fix-ups. So maybe it makes sense to do some of the offset zoom stuff outside. Let's see, so if we move that out, if we move... Let's ever start doing the text size relative stuff, that I might need that elsewhere. Do you have a plain size anywhere? No. But really, we should be naming it something else. Does that even go into the view? No, we have to know it here to do scaling operations. Unless the view then Has all the things that do the translations for us. Oh, and if you're going into Boon chart, maybe you own that? I mean, I could even say view.chart size, I guess. You're technically int. Oh, well, we're using you as an int because it's like effectively a pixel size. All right, so that goes into, oh, if we just call it size. That will give us some errors. Let's see, did we, yeah, we just ended up pulling out a model for you. Wait, what did I just change then? Oh, how did I never? Find you. Still, it's the last thing we do. We can handle it outside. How did I miss all the previous searches? Yeah, you're already doing a lot of stuff. Okay. And actually, we can already fix this. Although I might have to do some int float conversions. No. This might be window width, actually. Yeah. Yep. Or wait, is this? But I'm seeing an int. Is it 2 float? Yep. It's going to already do that better. So let's just hit. And adding offset could be a little hairy here. Because the order of that with the scale matters. So at that point, we might as well do this and just stop passing all of that positional stuff. Oh. You still need to zoom, though. Since we're passing it, should take care of the scaling. Well, we know that this stuff is pretty much just for, like, text sizing, so maybe we consider that in the same spirit. And you are all confused. Hit detection still seems to be okay. It slightly bothers me that we're passing all the scale stuff to draw, and then not passing all the scale stuff to hit, but we'd have to start passing chart size down. Maybe that's an argument for keeping some sort of chart config around. And actually, we should already be a little bit, well, you can't tell because the point of this was to calculate a initial position and a, oh, so we would start out focusing on Hermes, huh? So I guess the loading stuff could be kind of assumed to be all initial state. Oh, we don't have our real window metrics yet. This is model only. Now, this is something that we might continue to get. When resizing. No. That might be an event thing we have to hook up. Yep, browser.events. Now, I run these into the same message. Given that we want to do an initial relayout here in one case and not in the other, I'm wanting to separate those again. Why they actually come in a different format, I have no idea. I might want to adjust my center point from there. Or like if we have a focus on, we could... Actually, we kind of do have a focus point, don't we? So in principle, you could take whatever your offset was and try to adjust it to your... Well, figure out the center in your old position and move it to the center in your new position. That's not as big a deal, though. Oh, and I may have... I wonder if I even committed some of this stuff. Okay. The other thing we wanted to do is we wanted to figure out... Well, we kind of know that. You were just saying zoom 1.0. This is a chart metric thing we just have, isn't it? We're kind of breaking the strangely enough the law of Demeter. Okay, yeah, we can just get that. That's the diameter. Which the diameter isn't all that bad, considering. Maybe we still want radius, but it is going to be the same as our height or width is going to be our scale. So we have like height scale. Well, I guess size is going to be times... And you're not valid yet. Which do we want? Well, right now we have a diameter that is larger than our height. So if our diameter, well, I mean, this is almost equal. If our width is roughly equal to our diameter, we want the scale of 1.0. If we would want this to be a smaller zoom value. And the the size factor is going to be the larger number, so it means it's the denominator. And zoom. Is it the min or the max? Well, this would be 1.0 and something smaller, so that would be the min. I wonder if I should just keep these as floats. Bit of a flash there. Oh, and that is indeed the window size message. So I guess we could cover that up by like having it stay blank for a second or something. Also, I guess we don't necessarily want to focus on Hermes. We want to focus on the center, but we want to focus on the entire chart. Maybe there's a version of this that instead of well, Hermes is just the center of the chart. He's going to be 0, 0. Oh, the coordinates we're dealing here are in chart coordinates. And do we just assume? Well, the two things we're getting are rotation and position. Oh, but there's a dependence between rotation here. Well, only to calculate this thing, which is in local coordinates. Maybe. Nice. So this is using that. So we also need a area size. This is a diameter in this case. Rotation is the parameter. We have to update that only because we're getting that. Then there's that. And you have updated chart metrics. What are you complaining about? Oh, trivial syntax. Okay. So window size. I guess that's a little cryptic. Oh. Also, do we still have a focus on Hermes? Yeah. Do we have the information? We probably do have to do this. But how many times do we... I probably actually want a default view. No, diameter 10. Actually, these probably don't need to be updated. Because we don't depend on chart metrics now. Although this is all going to depend on... Yeah, at this point we don't have window size, so it's kind of moot. Okay. I mean, we want this to that's actually chart relative coordinates. We just have to figure out why this is all messed up right now. So that seems correct, which suggests, are we storing negative coordinates for our gods? Or maybe we're returning negative coordinates? And of course, we're not doing this anymore. Why are we storing you in negative coordinates, dear? Maybe we're returning you in negative coordinates. Oh, you're 0, 0. And this works. Right, because our center here is that. Here is negative, it's effectively the upper corner of it. This is where we want to handle this. Probably we want to do that more. We're not actually using this thing yet. Oop. Okay, that does you. What happened here? All right, so now we should be able to take a Hermes or whatever, 0, 0. Your boon chart. Okay, use chart size zoom. This all happens in our other routine. So I want to update that in case we need it. We need to update chart metrics in case we need it. Focus on center. And there, we don't have any tagging here to differentiate rotation from a diameter. In our size, our diameter is model dot chart metrics. Or we have an updated chart metric. I don't think it matters. And our rotation is rotation. Zoom will get calculated. You get updated and put into there. We need that. We need that derived value to go into here. This rotation could be done inline. The center could be done inline. Okay, that seems to be correct. Right, because we're not doing any live updating right now. I guess if we have a focus on, we could update. But if the user's modified this, then we don't. Well, we could try rescaling the view, but it's not as critical. All right, now we have to add some UI, and I don't know if I have things to use for. Well, I guess I could just do words to start off with. So we actually have to use our view a little bit. So far we've been keeping everything in the chart. For this, I just need a list of gods. No, actually I keep traits as well, which is also organized by gods. Because it's kind of like just because it's primary data. And then traits can include the layout information if that's available. So, I guess this would be all gods. We just map it down to the god information. All right, so that's in there. We have all, we set things up to do nice UI. Oh, here's where the zoom factor was. I do everything in the chart, but no, that's not. Ooh. I haven't had to deal with that edge before. But you can go over it. That could be annoying. Can I just do a screen event? Well, it's almost like I'd have to do a... As I push all this stuff down to the chart. Oh, did you also end up pending clicking? On mouse up. No. Oh no, we did on mouse down. But that's still in screen coordinates. We have to do all the translation down. So it'd be, well, it'd be under browser events. Anywhere on screen. I don't know if I want anywhere on screen. Does Elm UI even have that? Unless they want it anywhere on screen. If I have any other UI, well, that depends. So I'm going to want to mouse down on the backing layer and then subscribe to the rest. But yeah, that might be able to move out of the chart. I just thought because I had to bind the events to it. We could try it out anywhere. Have we done anything else? All right, put our zoom factor back because it's like, oh, that's there. This is browser.events. This is actually subscriptions, right? Because it's anywhere. So these actually move out of the view? Well, we can punt it through the view for now. Oh, do you have on wheel though? Ooh. So we're gonna have to leave the wheel events in somewhere. All right, so I already have browser.events. We can fudge it through view for the time being. All right, so I had to find when. Now you see you're doing stuff through a collage, so we're applying these to collage. This is really a command. It's just an if statement on a command none. I guess just because we had to do a bunch of them. This was model out on mouse down. This is going to be view or UI. UI of view dot on mouse down. Oh, now you're a decoder message. So this is going to be different. Viewpoint. Wait. UI. Oh, right. Even that's going to be wrong. Because we need to decode whatever the heck we want out of it. Which collage gave us these things kind of for free. Alternately, we do some sort of backing panel. Oh, maybe the problem was we had to do it here. Because if any kind of backing panel would not receive an event that got blocked by the chart. What about, because that would really be HTML. You don't have a mouse wheel either. Is this a collage thing? Oh, we've already got a wheel decoder. SVG explicit HTML.events. Now you've got to stop propagation. So maybe the default handlers do have a stop propagation. We could do ones without. Well, the question is if does it intercept? All right, so you're already like a bare HTML thing anyway. HTML events on mouse down. But what does OMUI use? It does have its own events. So in front display footer, height fill, width fill, clip. This is kind of like our overlay stuff. Okay. That's just in plain Word. This is just something I needed before, I guess. You don't really specify, it's just message. Do you not include data? So I guess this is meant to be like, we clicked on this element. So it's just a notification. Okay, so this doesn't work. Oh, but it follows HTML events. So that really does put us back here. Do I need to deal with this right now? It's kind of a consequence of a different default view. What we really want to do This is a column. Right, because I want this to be on top of... I want these to be overlays on the screen, basically. Align bottom. And then these things have, well, in their element. So it's slightly annoying. In front display. Display footers, actually like the immediate thing here. We've got, and then zoom was a singular value. Gonna produce an element. What do you need? You're gonna need like the entire model, aren't you? And we haven't been dealing with what that contains. So this has to do with model.traits. Well, you're going to be a row. Actually, line top might be the default. So initially, what do we want? Just we need the what do I call you? Data God. And you go to, we're going to want more, but it might just be text. I don't know if I've had to deal with this before. Okay, so you have to be a separate thing. And then this can just have a straight up click handler. Now this is text. To attach things to our text. Maybe we should just go ahead and go here. Maybe we should just say So a subfunction. Hey, where do we have display? I guess there's just an element for now. Maybe I'm going to pass the God data down here to use some color and other information. None to L. All right, update. UI. All right, so we've already got a little bit of fast nav. We can maybe do some animation to make it look better. That's not, okay, it's not generally affecting our, maybe it needs some backing. Now, do we already have some icons? Unfortunately, we pulled in a really large section of stuff. Don't know why it's a word menu. No, actually, I did just pull out some subfolders. Okay, I pulled this out expecting I would use them, I guess. And I think we generally ended up, oh. Do I have data for this? Do I have God data for this? Well, I've obviously got all you. Is this in the game files? And do we need to pull it out? Now, I do sort of have these in here. If I can click on it. Yeah, that's an absolute path. I could figure it out, but we could translate it to get that from layout information, but that seems a little weird. Loot data? What was this subfolder? Boon select symbols. Maybe they just never used this exact art. Is this... I don't think paths would be in a translation thing, but maybe. This could get a little bit painful, though. They might have just completely replaced with the animated ones. fx.fjson. GUI animations. Oh, no. Huh. Manifest. Spin, 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 spin. Huh. So the actual in-game ones... are these like really brightened up ones? So maybe this entire thing is some leftover. Boon symbol Hermes icon. Boon backing. Interesting. I don't know what the... we did... oh, Boon symbol Zeus icon. Icon equals... some of these are all brightened up because they're supposed to be in that backing stuff. So I generally thought that these ones looked better just because they're not as white. Maybe like this is all red. So you need the bright colors and edges to actually distinguish from their base color. I guess that's something I need to pay attention to next time I'm... Well, we had this earlier, right? I don't suppose you've got a screenshot handy. Nope, no boon selects. Okay, that's white, but that does feel like it's that icon. Wow, there's like only one screenshot of that. So it probably is white. Maybe that's supposed to be like bathing in the glow of the ball there. Hmm. So we can't necessarily use data for that. We might... Actually, these are all plain name. We might be able to do a calculated name. Although being able to do this direct from a god would actually be pretty convenient. And we just ended up encoding this anyway. Right, that feels like that went in the wrong spot. So we can just use God name here. Now, if this ends up having to be a data thing, then the code's going to end up looking different. How you do images? Image list attribute source desk. returns an element. This is L, so it does take one element. Oh, yes. Actually, what images we're getting? We're getting the boon. Okay, we are using PNGs here. This was the raw data that maybe didn't. Okay, I need to do a little bit of sizing there. Well, and we may have to do something to make it wrap or adapt anyway. This does have a disadvantage that these are too large, so you might eventually want to do some pre-scaled versions. Unless I can reuse these in the chart somewhere, and then it's all good. This is view. So actually, I did something about fitting these into a space in the map. That's the wrong kind of icon. What is this going to be? Yeah, matching object, object icon control. Let's see, button. We're going to be looking at object image. Oh, I had to drop down to an HTML image. Oh, maybe HTML width was giving me what I wanted? Oh no, maybe I had to put a class on it. Okay. So it might be some of this stuff actually. Centering might not matter too much if they're about the same size. Okay, that sizes the element, not the image. But the image, I forgot, has its own properties. Oh yeah, that is definitely, we definitely want a little bit of free sizing here. Can I get away with that? No, then you're just big. That's kind of good, except we're not going to be setting our width at all. This might be where we could do it there. And this all just needs to be positioned better. Oh, you know what? This is in... No, this is in the same order we're using. Now, ideally... Oh, this is an individual element. I need... I might need a super element. Oh, okay. Oh, that gives us a... Well, browsers always have a minimum width, so... I don't know if that's actually informing it or not. Nope, okay. So I guess that works out well enough. So I guess then the only problem is that these aren't identified as buttons, which they're basically buttons. So really, instead of L here, we should be using button. Oh. Input. So then you have the on, so rather than event here, we should be doing this. Button list attribute on press, and then this is actually the label. Oh, you are assignment. Wait, where? Oh, because this doesn't have to generate something. If you're just kind of roughing it in. And then that, I don't know if we need the highlight there, but I should probably actually be doing some highlighting based on if we have a focus set, and then I have to decide what to do if if you move it yourself, is focus no longer set. Don't really have tab support. Maybe I have to assign a tab step to it. But it's a start. Although my focus is a little bit off here. Maybe this is that 8 padding. Oh, that seems like too much. I may have to add a little bit of room. This won't affect us too much in most cases. You can't quite see our exit point. Okay, you got a little bit cut off. And actually, I'm going to want to bring this in a little bit just because we have our top bar. So that means we need to be down a little bit and less a little bit. Hit these boons. That affects our default view. That goes through here. All right, window width. Window height. Well, let's overdo this to make sure we get the direction right. And that's the right direction. Any time now. That is going to affect this. That's okay. And then actually this is probably actually that. Oh. Why did you have that effect? So this feels like too much. Oh, because this is the center, right? And I was been wondering if we need to include the border space as well. Yeah, it's going down too far. So we're doing our calculations as if we have the full window width. So I guess this would only be This is also where we're replacing things relative to. So should I just subtract window height up front? Well, the 8 maybe. I guess you don't like that. That feels relatively well aligned. And that actually takes care of these bottoms as well. I probably need to pull out the that boundary thing as I'm kind of constant. Or just remove it. That's probably good for elements like this, but not for, maybe not for the entire thing. Oh, I guess I could have names under here in the same way I do with icons. All right, and actually this hits our notes as well. Trait quick select is going to be a bit more of a process. Well, I'm going to want it to get backing image. I'm going to want to have a ordered list of slots. We're going to need pop-out menus. Going to get into a whole bunch of state tracking. Oh, and optimization things. You're kind of an optimization thing. There's that. But I have somewhere to go this afternoon. I don't think we're going to get anything substantial done on other stuff. Oop. You're probably gonna need to update. Yeah, so we've got the SVG size issue. Style width, height. And we do know, we will know what the height width. 100 VH, okay. Since it is what causes the issue. Be the wrong one, by the way. Inline or placed elements. This the rule should be auto, then the element has an intrinsic ratio but no intrinsic with their height. This is assuming a container. Max height with auto. Illustrator square. Okay, so you're trying to do ratio stuff. Yeah, 300 by that. 100 pixels, 100 pixels. Well, who knows how old this is. Div style width. What are we doing at the view level? Oop. And there was my early warning alarm. I'm just applying straight up HTML styles. Okay, well, we don't, oh. No, it resized, it just didn't reposition. And it, And maybe I should just be using v width too, since we're using that one. All right, well, time for me to get ready and go. That's when I'm normally on. Normally I do tend to go a little bit later, but I've got an appointment today. Thanks for support from all the subs. And this would normally pick up on Monday. Saturday later today will be 1 Hour 1 Life, and Sunday will probably Astroneer. Bye bye.